why you feel guilty every time you say no, and how to stop. Are you secretly wondering why saying no feels like you're committing a crime? That crushing guilt that hits you every single time you try to protect your time, energy, or emotional space? You're definitely not alone in this struggle. And today, we're going to break down exactly why this happens and what you can do about it. I want you to think about the last time someone asked you for a favor when you were already overwhelmed. Maybe your friend wanted you to help them move on your only free weekend, or your coworker asked you to cover their shift when you had plans with your family. What did you do? If you're like most people, you probably said yes, even though every fiber of your being was screaming no. Here's what's really happening in your brain during these moments. Your nervous system is actually wired to prioritize connection over your own needs. This goes back to our survival instincts. Thousands of years ago, being rejected by your tribe could literally mean death. So your brain developed this incredible ability to sense when someone might be disappointed in you, and it triggers massive anxiety. But here's the thing that changes everything. Healthy boundaries aren't about building walls or being selfish. They're about creating a framework where your relationships can actually thrive. Think of boundaries like the rules of a sport. Without clear lines and guidelines, the game becomes chaos. Nobody knows what's fair, what's allowed, or how to succeed. When you don't have boundaries, you end up in what psychologists call the resentment cycle. You say yes when you mean no. You give more than you have to give. You start feeling drained and angry, but you can't quite figure out why. Then you either explode in frustration or you shut down completely. Neither option leads to the healthy relationships you actually want. Let's talk about what healthy boundaries actually look like in real life. A boundary isn't a threat or an ultimatum. It's simply information about what works for you and what doesn't. Instead of saying, "You always interrupt me, and it's so rude," a boundary sounds like, "I need to finish my thoughts before we move to the next topic." The key difference is that boundaries focus on what you need rather than trying to control someone else's behavior. You can't force people to respect your boundaries, but you can control how you respond when they cross them. Now I want to address something that might be making you uncomfortable right now. You might be thinking that setting boundaries sounds mean or selfish. This is especially common if you grew up in a family where your needs weren't prioritized, or if you learned that love meant sacrificing yourself for others. If this resonates with you, make sure to subscribe, because we talk about healing these deeper patterns all the time. But for now, I want you to consider this perspective. When you don't have boundaries, you're actually being unfair to the people in your life. You're teaching them that your needs don't matter, which puts them in the position of accidentally taking advantage of you. People who care about you want to know how to treat you well. Clear boundaries are like a roadmap that shows them exactly how to do that. It's not selfish to give people the information they need to have a healthy relationship with you. So how do you start setting boundaries without feeling like you're being mean? The first step is getting clear on what your actual limits are. Most people have never taken the time to figure this out. They just react in the moment and hope for the best. Start by noticing your body's signals. That tight feeling in your chest when someone asks for something you don't want to do. The exhaustion you feel after spending time with certain people. The way your mood shifts when you check your messages. Your body is constantly giving you information about what feels good and what doesn't. Once you know your limits, practice communicating them clearly and kindly. You don't need to justify or explain every boundary you set. "I can't help you move this weekend" is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone a detailed explanation of your schedule, your energy levels, or your other commitments. Here's a script that works in most situations. "I understand this is important to you, and I'm not available for that." Then you can offer an alternative if you want to. "I can't help you move, but I know someone who runs a moving company if you'd like their number." The guilt you feel when you start setting boundaries is actually a sign that you're doing something right. It means you're breaking old patterns and creating new ones. That feeling of discomfort isn't a warning to stop. It's growing pains. Think of it like starting a new workout routine. The first few days, your muscles ache because they're adapting to new demands. Setting boundaries works the same way. Your emotional muscles are learning to hold new positions, and that takes practice. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they start setting boundaries is going from 0 to 100 overnight. If you've been saying yes to everything for years, suddenly saying no to every request is going to shock your system and the people around you. Start small. Pick one area of your life where you need better boundaries and focus on that first. Maybe it's not checking work emails after 8 p.m. or not letting phone calls interrupt your family dinner. Small wins build confidence for bigger changes. Remember that boundaries aren't just about saying no to other people. They're also about saying yes to yourself. Yes to rest when you're tired. Yes to pursuing your goals even when others don't understand them. Yes to relationships that energize you instead of draining you. If you found this helpful, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We post new videos every week about building the kind of life and relationships that actually feel good from the inside out. I also want you to share this with someone who needs to hear it. We all have that friend who gives and gives until they have nothing left. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is help someone realize they have permission to set boundaries. Your needs matter. Your time matters. Your energy matters. Setting boundaries isn't about being difficult or demanding. It's about creating space for your best self to show up in your relationships. And when you do that consistently, everyone benefits. Next week, we're talking about how to handle the people in your life who don't respect your boundaries. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that one, because it's going to build perfectly on everything we covered today. Until then, practice being as kind to yourself as you are to everyone else.